Hi guys, and welcome back to Witch Talk. This is a very special new premiere segment that I've been talking to you guys about that I've been interested in doing. As I'm drinking my coffee. So I have, as you guys know, I've been doing a couple of researches about thinking about motherhood, thinking about moms. My little sister is expecting. I'm a godmother to numerous children, and I have been thinking continuously and researching on what it's like to be a mom. And of course, I've been reading the normal books that you would read, what to expect before you're expecting, what to expect when you're expecting, what to expect from ages birth to 5, you know, those kind of books. And I have been doing some research, and it dawned on me, and I was like, what about being a witch and being a mom and raising your child in the witch fashion? And well, lo and behold, I did what I do, the Hermione Granger in me. I start reaching out for books. Well, unfortunately, I didn't find many books. I found one that I bought called The Pregnant Goddess by, of course, my favorite author. Y'all know her. Y'all love her. It is Erin Murphy Hitchcock. And it's the guide, traditions, rituals, blessings for the sacred pagan pregnancy. And I haven't read it yet, but I am going to, and I'll give you guys a heads up about that. But and then I came across another book called Witchy Mom that I ordered, and that was all I could find. Unfortunately, everything else was just kind of things that you come across and you collect as you go. And I was like, damn, why isn't there more resources out there, not just for moms, but for witchy moms? Well, the goddess has spoke to me loudly, ferociously, and demandingly. As I'm drinking my pumpkin spice coffee in the middle of August, that we're going to start a new series called Hexy Mama. And we'll be going through different subjects such as protection for your home, hearth magic, kitchen magic, you know, mama self-care, things along those lines that you need to know being a witchy mother. And doing what's best for your child, not just on a physical plane, but also on the spiritual plane. So, I want to thank you guys ahead of time for giving me a bunch of support. I would like to thank my baby witch on Elm Street. I actually reached out to her and consulted her on this segment. And this is going to be a segment going in hand to hand with my baby witch segment that I'm doing later this week on herbal magic. So this is called The Magic of Food. You are what you eat. This is basically kitchen magic 101. And kitchen magic's when you pour magical intention into the food you make. And it is when it really is simple as that. It's really, instead of making a potion, instead of making a tonic, instead of making a spell, you're making the food that people will consume into as a spell itself. For example, I had a friend of mine who was striving to get pregnant. Well, me being me, I started going into the kitchen. I made some old-fashioned Irish soda bread. My husband doesn't allow it from a box. He will probably tell that story when I finally introduce you guys to you. But in the meantime, I want to keep that one under my hat because it's embarrassing as hell. But I start making Irish soda bread. And I make her some coffee. Well, she doesn't drink coffee. But I made her some sweet tea, and I was like, have a bite. And she's been trying to get pregnant this whole time. I infused it with fertility magic. And then, bam, she got pregnant with her daughter. Her daughter just turned 1 year old. And that's what magic, it's literally consuming the spell, and that's what absolutely I love. And I'm about to get down and explain the witchy science of this here in a second. There's something in my eye. Dang. Okay. So, let's get down to the science. So, Anism is when everything has a magical imprint, energy, intention, from the air that you breathe, from the grass that you walk on, to the food that you eat, to the plants, crystals, everything has a magical signature, okay? And this is called prana, or life force. Down on a scientific point of view, it's called hermetic principle of vibration. So, and I want to put this in layman's term. High vibration, bad. If you're vibrating high, you're vibrating at a chaotic level. Like chaotic evil level. Like nat 20 for ultimate destruction. Okay? But if you're vibrating low, that means you're vibrating peacefully. And everything in its most natural state will be vibrating low. Okay? So, and when you ingest things, or when you have a crystal close to your heart, for example, when I have my moonstone, when people are like, oh, don't forget to charge your stones, that's what it means. It means to rebalance and give energy to your stones, rebalance it back to its natural low vibrational state. Okay. The more natural something is, the more organic that it is, the more it, as raw as it is, the most natural that it's come from the earth, that is the lowest, that's the lowest vibrational frequency it's going to have. That's the better prana and the pure prana it's going to have. Some call it prana, some people call it chi. Me personally, for anything that is not human, I call prana. Me personally, I call chi. Okay. So, still, I think it's a Xerxes hair. It's just in my eye. Ugh. Okay. Okay. So when you have like this crystal ring on, like my crystal ring on my finger, my moonstone on my finger, it helps me vibrate at a lower frequency, like a filter, okay? It has its own vibrational frequency, its own prana, to make me vibrate at a lower frequency and bring me back into balance. That's what you want. When people are like, oh, I'm going to go activate my chi and balance out my my chakras, that is bringing everything back into a low balance and for it to vibrate together. Think of it as sound waves. If something is out of tune, if your body is out of tune, and then it's going to be vibrating flat, which is really like, it's going to be the waves are going to be too close together, or it's going to be vibrating too sharp, which is the, sorry, I'm trying to go back on my music career, high school flute lesson. So, if it's vibrating flat, that means the frequencies are too far apart. If it's vibrating the waves are vibrating too close together, that means it's too sharp. So what you want to do is get that perfect balance. So what you do is you go back to the rawest form and you readjust. That's exactly what realigning your chakras do. That's what meditation does. Self-care does for yourself. Now everyone's probably rambling, what the fuck does this have to do about food? glad you asked. So, when it comes to food, for you to feed the food into your body that has the most genuine prana, you want things that come from the earth. So that means organic food. That means food either you grow yourself or food in its most organic, natural state. And I was like, God, that's so expensive. Yeah, organic food can be expensive. But you also have to think about it like this, okay? Let's say you buy just a typical $5 frozen pizza at Target, okay? That pepperoni was taken from a pig in a high-stress, terror-fueled situation. That cheese was harvested from a cow in the same situation, okay? That sauce was made from a tomato that was premature and with herbs that were made in a factory. And bread that was made by a machine. So the spiritual energy that's already being fed into this pizza is bad. Of course, the pizza has to be assembled. So the people that are assembling these pizzas, they hate their jobs. They hate their life. They hate doing this day in, day out. They're full of anger, anguish, despair, desperation, depression. And they're making these pizzas. Their energy is going into the food that you're eating. Your food could be made by serial killers and you don't even know that. I don't want to eat it. I don't want my husband to eat it. I don't want my kids to eat it. I don't want to feed my family or my friends food that has that kind of energy in it. No, I don't want to sit there with my husband already. This is the kind of magic that a good meal can have on you. Example, I remember a couple years ago, my husband had a shit day at work. Like, literally, it was a shit day. I knew he was having a shit day. I got the phone call at 11 o'clock in the morning. And him yelling at me for an hour. Not yelling at me, just about the situation. For an hour, yelling at me that his day was shit and is going to be shit. I automatically start planning a meal. I automatically start assembling a meal, and each ingredient I choose has the energy of the concern and the effect that I want to change. I said he was angry. I wanted to give him peace and calm and happiness. Made lavender lemonade to drink. Lemonade's his favorite. Lavender is very calming. It has loving energies, it has peaceful energies. It is called the love herb for a reason. Okay? Then I assembled the food. Okay? I'm an Italian woman. So I made spaghetti. And I worked on that sauce for 4 hours. Making sure those tomatoes that I got were organic. Because, of course, I shop organically anyway. Roasted them. Olive oil, garlic. It's a purifying herb. There's protection in it. In that herb. Done. You see, I'm already assembling these things that are already puring through. That's going through. And already that's going to be affecting his soul. So he sits down. He's in a huff. He's in a puff. And he's eating. And I can literally see as he's eating that his energy is changing. His aura is changing from this really dark, dingy red to this bright and light red. which means passion and love and kindness. And that's when I knew the magic of food. Now, that's what you have to realize. And you can buy multiple books with multiple recipes that gives you, or you can start studying herb magic, or you can start studying like what vegetables have what energies. A really great book to start at, Wiccan in the Kitchen. This series is a really great series. It also has Wikipedia, The Good Witch's Guide, The Witch's Way, The Crystal Witch. You can actually do the Wikipedia journal and The Good Witch's Perpetual Planner. It's really good for love and light magic. It is a great place to start. Wicca in the Kitchen is another good one. It's called The Kitchen Witch's Cookbook. Is another great one to start with. And those are just some really great examples. And really, it's just being conscious of that. And this is where you go into your family. So, when you're making these meals, when you are, and everyone seems really surprised when I sit there and I say this, but you know, my Nana always said, I put love in my food. That's completely true. You can infuse your food with any kind of energy you have. With the right ingredients and with the right mindset, your food can, you know, build nations. And it's completely true. But a good way to start that is start setting up your kitchen for the basics of kitchen magic, okay? And I'm not talking about going to Whole Foods and getting a half a sack of groceries for $400. Be smart about this. Aldi's is a great place to go to. Trader Joe's is super reasonable. Great place to start. But let's start with even the basics of that. Let's start with setting up your kitchen for kitchen magic. Your kitchen should be your sanctuary. So, it should be clean. For sanitary and hygiene reasons. So, clean it. Literally, organize it. I add these TikTokers that have each container and each thing. And it just inspires me on a level of OCD level that I wish that smoke level that I wish I could just subscribe to. And that is my goal. When I move into my new house with my husband on base, that is my goal. But it literally starts with cleanliness. Literally, clean out get the things out. Clean out those cabinets. Wipe them down. Get some salt water and a little bit of bleach in the salt water and wipe them down. Wipe them down clean. The cabinets, inside the cabinets, counters, all the appliances. Give it a good old-fashioned spring cleaning. Like your toddler went through there and destroyed it with a granola bar. From there, organize it. Organize it, not just throwing things in the cabinet, but also organizing it like it's your workshop. Like you are going in there and performing this ritual from the goddess herself. Because guess what? Y'all are. And we're going to get to that. Decor. I have all these people come to me like, oh my gosh, I just need this adult decor. Like, I just want my house to feel like an adult. I want it to look a certain way. Which, no. My house, especially my kitchen, is made for me. I am the only one gonna be cooking in it. I'm the only one gonna be wielding that magic spoon like Auntie Stella. And I'm the one that's gonna be making all that magic. Okay? So decorate it any way you want to. Literally, put your personal stamp onto it. Just like you would do your altar. do it any way you want to. Don't let other people describe you. If you see a Harry Potter tea towel oven mitt set, bitch, get it. I did. I got 2. You do you. You decorate your home, your kitchen, your bedroom, even your dog's kennel the way you want to, baby. Because this is your sanctuary. This is your temple. You decorate the way you want to because everyone worships you here. Spawn right over. So, decorate it to your taste. Okay? Get some decent quality products that you're working with. And I'm not just talking about groceries. Of course, groceries are important too. But get the rawest forms, organic. Reach for higher level, more nutritious, less processed things. Stay away if you're going to go for sugar, go for raw sugar and raw processed sugar. Or reach for stevia, which is a plant-based sugar. Almond milk versus like normal milk, because they take the milk very inhumanely from cows, and also almond milk's better for you. When it comes to spices and stuff, you can either grow your own, or you can gather food from the farmer's market. I like to go to the farmer's market, honestly. Like, I like to go to the farmer's market. It's cheaper. It supports local businesses. It's cheaper. And it has the highest brand. And it supports local businesses. And it's cheaper. I'm going to harp on that, sexy mamas. Hexy Mamas. I want to harp on that. Oh. I have a new cup. It says Hexy Witch. And by the way, this is my almond milk coffee creamer that I made. It's pumpkin spice. I know it's August. Okay. So, I'm also talking about electric appliances too. This is 2020. I have 4 cauldrons in my house. I have my black cast iron cauldron that I use for spell works, mule wine, things along those lines for special occasions. Then I have my Dutch oven, which is really my cauldron in the kitchen. Then I have my tiny cauldron that I use that's on my altar. Then I got my crock pot or my Instapot. It is literally an electric cauldron. Use it to your advantage. It works the same way. And invest in those things. Invest in some good wooden spoons instead of plastic. Invest in, ask for a KitchenAid. I love my KitchenAid more than anything else in this world. It's my favorite. My cat does weird things for some reason. It's like playing with hangers. So, invest in a pasta maker or electric pasta maker. Invest in tools. Invest in tools. Like, really. And it's really easy to go to Walmart and shop and find these things. Like, it's easy. And it's not very expensive. And you don't have to buy everything all at big one bulks. Little steps and tiny steps go a long way. It could start just buying some really pretty wooden spoons and working from there. And the thing is, wooden spoons are literally can be cleansed, blessed, and used like wands in the kitchen. Tidbit from me to you. Okay. Know your ingredients. That's something I say. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've been practicing for many, 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 many years. And I am studying at an accelerated rate this coronavirus. And I still don't know everything. Like, I don't. And that's something that witches need to understand. That you will never memorize and know everything. There are some things. I've been doing tarot for 13 years. Still don't know what every card meaning is. I can't look at a card and be like, oh, this card means exactly that. No. I can't. So don't feel bad if you don't memorize it too. That's why we have books. That's why you have your book of shadows. That's why you have the internet. The internet. Like, I even think in this Witch and Kitsch book, it actually has, like, a listing of, like, vegetables and stuff that, like, and the energies of it. Yeah, it does. It even has recipes. Even for the holy holidays. Holy shit. That's fabulous. Yeah, it does. It covers onions, lemons, like versatile magical foods, like holy crack muffin. It's been a while since I read it, so I had to look. So you have books you can always lean on, just like your cookbooks. You can always lean on them. It's not that big of a deal, so don't feel bad. And if you're worried that if you don't have the time to, if you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to take so much time, girl, there's a cookbook for you. It's called Mom 100 Recipes. They even have a section on there that is freezable meals. You make them, you freeze them, you bake them, you're done. That's something you can do too. That's something that I do. Like, if I make a shit ton of chili, I put it in a thing, I put it in a freezer bag, I put it in the freezer, and then when I want something easy breezy to cook, I put it in my Dutch oven, I put the top on it, and bam, food. Think smarter, not harder. You get what I'm saying. And there is a food solution for everything. That's what I love. It's not literally, if it's your kid's first day of school and you're worried about the coronavirus, guess what? Put rosemary in their food the night before. If you want to get them courage, give them something with a little fire in it. You know, put a little chili pepper in like their omelet or something. Like, literally, there is a food and a way of everything. If you want to give them a renewed sense of energy, make them some eggs. If you want them to feel loved and appreciated, like, make them some almond bread. Like, there really is a cure for everything. And this is what I really wish the adults that had a hand in raising me is teaching me healthy eating habits and having a healthy relationship with food. Because nowadays food is an addiction. And there are some people who are naturally more curvaceous and thick. Like me, I'm more naturally curvaceous and thick. But like, addiction can become from food too. For example, sugar and sugar addiction is such a big epidemic in the United States right now. Like, with child obesity and child diabetes, we are really up there, our #1. So that's why I really want to, like, harp on my friends and harp on parents to stay away from salt. My kitchen witch friend who's been kitchen witching for 30 plus years, she don't use salt when she cooks. At all. She uses it just strictly in her witch work. Because everything naturally has salt in it nowadays. I don't use salt when I cook. I don't use a lot of sugar nowadays. I put sugar in my coffee and I sweeten it naturally. And that's something that I really want to teach my kids, is to have a healthy relationship with food. I have parents who give their kids processed food, processed Debbie cakes, processed everything, just to get them to be quiet or to get them out of their face. And one, you're treating food like a pacifier for your kid, instead of helping your kid to deal with their emotions and explaining exactly what they need. 2, it's also the energy that's in that food, not to mention the processed chemicals and everything else that's in it. Walking, talking death it is. It also, you don't know whose hand is in on making that food. Like, you wouldn't let your kid take candy from a stranger. Why would you let your kid eat food not made by your own hands when you don't know what's in it? You know, and that's something that I really admire about, I want to call her Witch Mama. That's something that I really admire about Witch Mamas, because she raised her only son with no processed food. Like, literally. No processed food. Before you ask, he does eat meat. He eats very little meat. He's really heavy on fruits and vegetables. This kid will literally reach for strawberries before he reached for candy. Now he's 18. Incredibly healthy. Incredibly smart. Like, stupid smart. And literally, as parents, we have to set our kids up for success. And why would you want to handicap them health-wise and spiritually when it comes to the basic need? You know, and kids who are unhealthy with food when they're younger wind up having eating disorders later. So if there's a kid that's unhappy, or that's a kid going through things, if there's a kid trying to deal with emotional problems or whatever, they'll either do two things. They'll either use food, sugar, whatever, as an escape and abuse food, and that sets them up for addiction later in life. Just speaking from personal experience, because I have multiple family members who did the same thing. And close family members. Or they go the opposite route and they starve themselves for control. You know, and that's what you really want to harp on. And there are kids who have these situations, even coming from happy families. Being a teenager is the worst form of abuse that the world could ever give you. Even coming from a happy family, being a teenager fucking sucks. I hated it. Everyone hated it going through it. And lo and behold, yes. So it's just setting your kids up for success as most you possibly can. Going from the basic, because you have to realize everything is connected. Emotional, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Everything's connected. And when you feed your kid food with low frequencies, that feeds into their spirituality, that gives them brain power, that feeds into their compassion, and fuels their body, that's setting your kid up for success. Honestly. And that's what I want to do for my kids. And hopefully I have encouraged you to start doing the same. Now, in my next episode, this is just a brief kind of a setting, I'm going to be going over different goddesses, or gods, mostly goddesses, that you can dedicate your kitchen to for a kitchen altar. I have a kitchen altar. Mine is Hestia. And I will go over them then. At a continuation of this, or you can check it out on my Cup of the Crown after I go over the pantheons. But I'll tell you a little bit about Hestia. Hestia is the goddess of the hearth. She is literally, as I know Hestia, she is, you know, she is the fire that keeps burning. She is warmth, kindness, gathering around a fire, having a good meal. Like, I have a small statue of her, and on my windowsill, right where I have a big windowsill, and then I have all my herbs, all my stones, my kitchen, my witch in the kitchen candle, my statue of Hestia, and all my witch talk cups, because that's part of, and my little cinnamon broom, because that's part of my altar. And I have a candle that I light for her and when I'm doing my kitchen magic. And like when I made pumpkin bread yesterday, it literally was me. It was literally going through this therapeutic brilliance. Like, and it really was inspiration, creativity, magic. You can feel it in the air because I wanted to welcome in the love of fall and the changing of the seasons and the harvest. And I really wanted to ring it in. So I made some good old-fashioned pumpkin bread. And it was an amazing experience to be able to ring that in and to be able to honor her. So that's what that's what the goddess is for me with Hestia. But I work a lot with the Greek Roman pantheons, as you definitely will see on Cup of the Crown. So go ahead and tune in with that tomorrow. We're going over Hecate. Thank you so much for tuning in with my first episode of Hexy Witch. Tune in for my Baby Witch episode that's going to be coming this week. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a very blessed day. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again.